Good morning, it's Jonathan Barratt with the morning debrief for Wednesday, September the 8th. The current time is 7:53 and we've obviously got a new government, Labor government, to come in to form obviously a minority government. It'll be quite interesting. How does the financial markets react to it? Well, I think the markets have been relatively lethargic over the political situation that we have in Australia. The Aussie did come off a little bit, but wasn't too bad, in fact, off around about 30 to 40 points. I guess a few key areas there to us to look at is obviously through that 90, 60, 70 area, but really the market took a second seat on the political news, and so that's created a little bit more frustrating for us all. In fact, I think it was the dollar strength overall that caused the Aussie to move lower, not the fact that we got a new Labor government in. But anyway, let's see how that unfolds. Let's have a quick look at what in terms of what's happening overnight, just a bit of an idea. Get us back in the chair. We obviously have had a few problems in terms of putting the report out those mornings, a few technical issues, but we think we've pretty much got that under wraps today. The Dow, as you're probably aware, had a negative night last night and was down 107 points, just over 1%, 10,340 after the last series of sessions, which were all very, very positive. The S&P down 12, the Nasdaq down 24. So a little bit of pressure across the board there. In Europe, once again, the SOX was down 26, the FTSE 31, the CAC 40, and the DAX was down 37. So that weakness there also extended to SICOM on the local market, where we saw down 27 points at 4,550. Okay, so equity markets generally a little bit weak. Let's have a look at some of the tradings we've looked at, usual things like the currencies. We've got a chart of the dollar index, and that's what I was talking about, where I felt that perhaps the move in the Aussie lower had more to do with the dollar climbing higher. So that's what we've seen, this move here, up quite aggressively from those lows of 82. Solid little orange, I guess now that the trade could be looked at to buy with you and a stop below 82. So that would indicate to us that dollar perhaps getting the better on the day for a lot of people. The Aussie quite curious areas, and obviously touching one of these levels on the downside, could see a trend change back through to that 90 level. So 90-60, then 90 level, which is obviously that big bifurcation we look at. Just looking at the euro as well, you can see the euro obviously weaker, dollar stronger on the back of it, and expectations are obviously at the moment that US dollar just remains a little bit better bid across the board. Moving across to some of the commodities, just a night on crude actually, 73.77, and quite volatile. We had a positive night for Brent and a negative night for West Texas. So it goes to show, I think, that the fundamentals, particularly in the US, are supporting the market and obviously supporting it a little bit lower. We do have Department of Energy information tonight, so let's see how that unfolds. Obviously a breakthrough here down through that 72 area is a convert back down the lower end of the range. Copper is interesting. Copper, we do have a good story on copper, but did succumb to pressure, but bounced off its lows there, and that's all part of a market that is quite long and certainly nervous to the top side, because we get those short, sharp, sudden moves to the downside, which clear out all those weak longs. So that in itself quite interesting. Now, there's been a couple of good movements there on some of the softs. Rough rice is one which we've certainly been following and been long for some time. And we had that breakout yesterday through that 11.45, and as a result of that, she's gone upwards and onwards, which I'm quite happy about. And when you just look at some of the charts there, you can see that that's a real breakout there, and our expectations for rice has been quite positive over time, and I've been quite happy with the results, particularly the return on the warrants, which were onwards and upwards of to 150% in some cases. The breakout there has to stay above 11.40 now, so if you are long, that's where you go. Chances are that it can actually trade up to that 14, so just keep that aware. Also, for those know, we've been long soybeans for some time, and we had a good breakout there for us. I'll just grab that chart for you. Soybeans, where are you, soybeans? There we are. 10.42 on the front month, but as you can see, certainly looks quite solid across the board. So expectations are for soybeans, and I'd certainly like to look at that daily chart. I'll just try and get that daily chart if I can, because I do prefer it. No, it looks like the the charts are playing silly games with me. Let's see what happens, how it comes out. That looks like that breakout, which all and expectations in my mind for this to continue. Obviously, we know where our stops are, but I'd like it to challenge those highs there, 1060, 1080, and a break of 1080, then onwards and upwards. So quite positive on that front. Just okay, some of the commodities look okay there. So sugar was one we were in a while ago. That seems to be very strong as well. And I think there's some good things to come and continue to come. On the local market, let's just have a look at what's happening there. I might take a little bit of time there to actually get that chart, but I think expectations a little bit of a correction for the local market, and I really need to see it break through 4,600, but any movement back to 4,300 or 4,400 I can be viewing as still relatively positive. So as you can see there, it looks a little on the downside. In terms of economic calendars, what have we got today? Obviously yesterday we had the RBA meeting, first Tuesday of every month. No change there for interest rates. We've got home loans in Australia today. We've got industrial production manufacturing in the UK and Germany. This will be a good test to the strength of Europe and the economies to see whether or not we should have concerns and actually trade to that US dollar as a risk aversion. We've got the Fed releases the beige book tonight, so that'll give us a good overview feel of what everyone's feeling concerning the economic strength. And we've also got consumer credit, so that should be quite interesting. So I guess pretty much in a nutshell, that's about it for today. But we're still long, obviously, soybeans. Keeping an eye on that gold market because I think that's quite important. And really soybeans and rough rice, which we're out of. So quite interesting on that front. So with that, that's about it. Have a great day, and we'll try and talk to you tomorrow.